I don't know who needs to hear this, but boundaries are put into place to protect you of your energy. It's to protect your peace. It's to protect your confidence. It's to protect who you are. It's to protect your autonomy. And a lot of times we don't have boundaries because we want to be seen as the nice person. You want to prove to other people that you're a good friend, that you're worthy of their friendship and their loyalty. But you need boundaries. At some point, you have got to stop allowing people to walk all over you. You've got to stop accepting anything less than, what it is that you desire. And until you stand 10 toes down and stand up for yourself, you will continue to find yourself in relationships that drain you. You will continue to not be at peace with yourself because you're allowing people to steal your energy from you. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, hello, my name is Jasmine. I'm so glad to have you. I used to be a people pleaser. it's so, it, you know, it's a good thing to reflect back and be low key embarrassed of the things that you used to tolerate because it just shows how much you've grown. And who I am today, I would never accept those things. But believe it or not, there was a time in my life where I needed friends. I didn't want to be alone. I didn't like, people being mad at me. I wanted to be seen as a good person. I wanted external validation so badly. And in the process of being like that, I didn't have any boundaries. I would let people talk to me crazy and I would still call them my friend. I would let people stand me up and still call them my friend. I would let people curse me out and I would still say, "Oh, it's okay. They're having a bad day." I used to be her. Gosh. I didn't have any boundaries. And one thing I noticed that was doing was making me very resentful. I used to start to hold on to this resentment because I was like, why are they treating me like this? Because I would never treat them like that, right? I also noticed how draining it became to be in friendships with people where you feel like you got to walk on eggshells. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want to confront them of the things that they've been doing that's hurting your feelings because you want to keep the peace. And I was miserable living like that. I really was. I had to realize boundaries are set to protect you. Okay. Your energy is currency. And, the more I run my online business, the more I realize like you have to protect your energy. You have to feel good about yourself in order to get things done. It's extremely difficult, damn near impossible to reach your goals, whatever those are, if you're depressed. It is extremely difficult to lose weight if that's the goal of yours. If you're stressed, if you're frustrated, if you have anxiety, you have to feel good about yourself, which means you have to keep your energy. But you cannot keep your energy. You cannot keep pouring into yourself if you don't have boundaries to protect your energy. Listen, you can tell people no. That's something I had to learn. I did not know how to tell people no. And if I did tell people no, I always felt like I had to give this long winded reason as to why I'm telling them no. You don't have to explain anything to anybody. No is a complete sentence. No, period. The people who are meant to be in your life, the people who do love you and who do respect you, they may be annoyed that you told them no, right? They may disagree with your decision of telling them no, but they will still respect the no. They'll still be your friend. They may not talk to you for a few days because they're in their feelings, but they're still your friend. They still love you. The people who are not meant to be in your life that you tell no to, those are the people who are going to start the name calling. Those are the people who are going to start the guilt tripping. Those are the people who are going to start disrespecting you. And they're already showing you their hand. They're showing you that they're using you for something. You telling them no is just weeding those people out, because they shouldn't be around you anyways. That's not your real friend. Because someone who's really down for you, they're going to respect your no and they're going to figure it out some other type of way. But I think sometimes we don't want to tell people no because we don't want to learn the truth about them. Even though I feel like deep down inside, we already know that some of these people who we lack boundaries for are using us, right? I think sometimes we want to live in this delusion. Okay. And you know that if you tell somebody no, you're going to see them for who they truly are. And so we try to avoid that by, telling them yes. I know I've done this before, but you already know deep down inside. You may not want to accept it, but you already know they're using you. And so when you tell them no, well, that's just the confirmation that you needed. And now you have to do something about it, right? But your boundaries are there to protect you, okay? Your energy is currency, it's important. How you view yourself on a day to day basis can either help you build a beautiful life or it'll build a draining, miserable life. And the quicker you can set boundaries for yourself, the quicker you can raise your standards for yourself, the quicker you can get clear on what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not, well, the quicker you can change your life. It wasn't until I started having boundaries where I started having peace. Because I'm telling you, in my 20s, when I used to need that external validation, when I used to need people to like me, that's when I was the most at war with myself. That's when I was the most miserable, the most depressed. I was drinking every day. I was 340 pounds. I had really bad acne. I couldn't sleep. I was an alcoholic. Gosh, just reflect. I'm telling you, sometimes when I make these videos and I do these reflections, I'm low-key embarrassed at a lot of the things that I used to tolerate. And I don't think embarrassment is necessarily a bad thing. I think we all need to be embarrassed with something because, again, like I said, it just shows how much you've grown from it. But that's who I used to be. But since having boundaries, since having standards, I've developed peace. My days now are so slow. I move with purpose. Things that I don't want to do, I don't do. I'm not afraid to tell somebody no. And anybody can get no. Just because, we're family doesn't mean that I have to agree to do everything that you say. Just because we've been best friends since childhood doesn't mean that I have to say yes. Just because we've been in a relationship for X amount of years, that does not mean that I have to say yes. Now, if it's something that you genuinely want to do, then okay. Okay, right? That's not what I'm talking about. These boundaries are things that you know deep down inside you don't want to do, things that you're not willing to tolerate, right? That's totally different. And sometimes you may not want to do something, but you do it because you know it's the right thing to do. Like, for instance, you know, your parents. You may not want to help them do something in their house, but you know you have to because that's your mom, right? It's totally different. But you get what I'm saying. You know there's nuances to this. Your boundaries are there to protect you. And especially like in friendships and relationships. And one thing I've noticed too is when relationships would end, the reason why I was the most heartbroken about the relationship ending, whenever it ended, was because I accepted things that I didn't want to accept. And I was building all this resentment towards this person. And so when the relationship ended, I was hurt because basically I didn't feel like I got my return on investment, meaning I overextended and didn't feel like I was getting that same level of extension back. But when you have boundaries, when you tell people no, when you don't people please, if the relationship does end, it can end amicably. There's no hurt feelings. You might be disappointed that it ended, but it doesn't devastate you because you stayed true to your boundaries. You only did the things that you wanted to do. You didn't overextend. You didn't people please. And so then that brings you peace as well. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you have to say. Also, you guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And do not forget to join the Patreon. The link is down below in my description. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.